In 2023, you did so much more than you think. I've got a New Year's message for you today, and it's about understanding that the gifts of 2023 are so big that you haven't even opened them all. The gifts of you want to go to 2024. You want to look ahead on what's 2024 about? What's that path about? Let's analyze. Let's go there. No, let's open the gifts, because the gifts of 2023 are the foundation of 2024, and you did more, way more than you could ever imagine you did in 2023, starting with your failures. Start with everything that hurt, everything that disappointed you, every tear that you shed, every difficulty that you walked through, every pain, every sorrow, every illness, every moment that challenged you. Do you know what it did? It challenged you to your core. These were not surface wounds that you were dealing with. These were deep, buried core wounds that you had the courage to bring to the surface, to delve into and to do something different with. To not avoid, run away, deny, repress, suppress. Thank you, God, the coping mechanisms of the past failed you, so you had to wade through the muck. These are the gifts that you cannot turn your back on, because if you do, you're turning your back on gold. You've got to embrace that you were winning when you thought that you were losing, that you were always doing more than you imagined, and you couldn't see. You couldn't see why, because you were zoomed up and zoomed in, and all that you could see was this that was right in front of you, that was so painful and so difficult that you couldn't hide away from, and you mistakenly thought, oh my gosh, it's getting so hard, therefore I'm wrong. It's getting so difficult, it's getting unbearable. I'm so exhausted, therefore I'm failing. That was never the case. When you zoom out, you're going to see that you are gaining yourself back, that there's more you living in here, more of the true self occupying the space, less of the illusion of perfection and the desire for that illusory perfection. You know what else you did in 2023? You brought in so much higher frequency, more than you've ever accommodated before. And when higher frequency comes in, because you breathe it in, it's ambient in the air around you. Our world is filling up with so much cosmic light, and every single body literally has to allow this higher frequency in through the cells of the body, which discharges the illusions, the densities, the sorrows, the not good enoughness. That's why none of the stuff can be suppressed anymore. None of the stuff has any place to hide anymore. That's why the coping mechanisms of the past have failed. And when there is the discharge that we've just gone through, higher frequency coming in, lower frequency being discharged, that created ascension symptoms, bringing in all of that higher frequency, acclimating to all of that new information, the discharge of the old information, those two frequencies and the huge discrepancy between the two of them. That space in between is a bit of a push-pull place, and that creates the phenomenon that we call ascension symptoms. And you went through that in 2023. You went through the displacement of frequency and the alchemy of frequency, and sometimes you failed. You did. Sometimes we were learning things and we got a little bit carried away. For example, we were learning perhaps to be more powerful. And in so doing, we started seeing everything as the attacker. And we started seeing everything as out for us or up against us. And that's okay, because we're bringing ourselves back into balance. We're going to get things wrong. I want you to know that. I want you to embrace, I'm going to get things wrong. And if you make yourself okay with it now, 2024, becomes not just an easy year. It becomes a year that is so much richer, has so much that you can claim. And when you receive the blessings of 2024, you automatically give them, you sprinkle them, you ripple them, you radiate them to the world around you. So make sure that you receive the gifts that are ahead of you. Or the other mistakes that you would have made in 2023, and we all made them together. Sometimes we were learning things like how to self-honor. And we began to get a little bit selfish and confuse self-honoring and selfishness. That's okay. This is you trying on a new frequency. This is you learning to accommodate and acclimate to the true self. You're going to get things in extremes sometimes. You're going to push people away sometimes when you really want to bring them closer. All of those things, They're coming into balance. 2024 is that. 2024 is allowing that balance to happen. But to enable the balance to happen, you've got to not be so strict about how perfect you've got to be, and let yourself get things wrong so that you can be a teacher of humility and truth. My name is Kerry K. I am a straight talking spiritual teacher because it's time for this now. It's time for conversations like this where you just get to be real and raw and you. Oh, and by the way, 2024, it's going to ask you to be more flexible than you've ever been before. So that can be on every level. Emotionally, yes. Physically, yes. To bring mobility back where there was rigidity. Rigidity of thinking is the stuff that makes you old. It's the stuff that makes your joints cramp up and hurt. It's the stuff that puts sorrow and blockages into your life. In 2024, we're going to be melting those blockages and restoring your fluidity and the flow of life. It's not just okay. It's not okay. It's exactly how it was always meant to be.